A very good evening to you. It's exactly 5 minutes past 4 p.m. And of course, you are tuned in to the Tech Street, the show that comes to you every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. And we talk about everything matters technology. So if you want to know the new gadgets that are, coming through in the market, Tech Street is a show to always watch. If you want to learn about blockchain technology, if you want to learn more about artificial intelligence, that's what we're going to be talking to you guys today. So definitely tune in. And I'm going to be introducing to you guys a special guest in the building who's going to be telling us more about artificial intelligence. I know there's been many conversations about AI. What is AI? What does it really do? And what do we need to know in order to be ahead of the game when it comes to that? So I hope you guys will be, locked. And of course, I have the amazing good, the bad, and the ugly stories also coming here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Let's get into the music. Welcome back. That was Nipsey Hussle we've just been losing too many amazing artists of late. I don't really know what's going on, man. Nipsey Hussle was definitely one of my favorite musicians, favorite rappers. And we're just trying to see a trend that's coming to Africa as well. We're losing all our great leaders, our great musicians, man, guys who are really rocking it. We just saw the other day, Costa Teach was performing and he just collapsed on stage, and that was a wrap for him. That was pretty sad, and we really hope that we can be able to mitigate and find out what's really happening in our music world. Why are we losing this amazing artists? What control measures can we take? I don't really know what happened to Kosa Teach. Definitely everybody's waiting to know, the postmortem results and what really happened that caused him, that fatal death while he was performing an electric performance. And AKA, of course, got shot down just a couple of months ago. I really don't want it to become the East Coast, West Coast kind of thing in Africa and in Kenya, where guys are losing their lives. Yeah, so rest in peace, of course, to those amazing artists, and to the family, of course, a teach man. Icon Radio feels for you, and we just hope that he does rest in peace. Of course, you're back on the Tech Street, a show that comes to you every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. And we always dive into matters technology. So if you want to be in the loop about what's happening around you, this is definitely the place to be. And as I begin with the good and the bad and the ugly stories, I'm starting with a story from Rome. Rome has launched East Africa's largest electric motorcycle plant in Nairobi. So Rome, which is a Swedish company and also an EV manufacturer, has opened a 100,000 square foot production facility in Nairobi that will house its East African headquarters. The EV manufacturer is planning to expand as it prepares to launch a significant commercial production of its electric motorcycle, Rome Air. This includes the production, development, and battery lab. So the new factory, which is off Mombasa Road and enjoys a view of Nairobi National Park, can produce more than 50,000 motorcycles annually. So I don't know what you guys think about that. We already have enough crazy motorcyclists on Nairobi. I hope that Rome really makes sure that we have this, machines in the right hands. It's been crazy with what's going on, with bikes all over the place, but we do think it's a good investment. We do think it's going to definitely give very many people jobs. And electric cars, electric, motorcycles, locomotives has become the in thing. I don't know if you guys have tried out the electric buses that applying the Nairobi routes now, which is pretty exciting to see as well. And we do hope to see how Rome is going to, play into the Kenyan market for sure. Now, Spotify introduces new features for creators and artists. Spotify has unveiled a number of new features as the platform, including Smart Shuffle, as well as concert and product finding tools, just a few weeks ago after launching a DJ feature on its app. So, Smart Shuffle, which was unveiled at its Stream On event, would assist users in expanding their existing playlists by providing tailored suggestions that go along with it. So, the user's playlist can be revitalized with the help of this tool by adding, new precisely suited ideas and rearranging the tunes. According to Daniel Ike, founder and CEO of Spotify, the company is committed to providing the best experience for both creators and customers. So, for you guys who are crazy about Spotify, posting out your content and doing amazing things, this is definitely going to be a better platform with the improvements that have come on Spotify. Of course, it's going to be cool to see how that plays out and how people make use of it. Of course, I'm going to be introducing a guest to you who's in the studio already, and he's going to be talking to us and taking us through the life and what it really means in artificial intelligence. Many people have heard about it. They do not know what it means. What is AI? What is it all about? How does it help you in your workplace? And just tips that you need to learn. So stay tuned for that amazing conversation. As we come back, let's dive into the music. Stay tuned to Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug, and this is The Tech Street, the show that comes to you every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. And I'm excited that I'll finally get to learn, all those tech terms that I always listen to people, talk about. And there's so much terminology, and I'm just thrown aback. But first of all, I have a special guest in the building who needs to just introduce himself because the name, the first time I heard the name, I was a bit thrown aback, but welcome. It's so nice to have you in studio. Kindly introduce yourself. Yes. Right. Hmm. Right. Right. Wow, that's amazing. So like what really inspired you to decide? Is it just something that you had when you were a kid, or what was the inspiration behind, just being in the tech space? Hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah.
Vietnam, the whole
Hmm.
thing, yeah.
Yes.
So I wanted to be a soldier. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I was like, it's always good to get the bad guys off the streets.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So until when I reached around high school,
Hmm.
so I was more inclined to, software computers.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but funny thing is, even when I was still younger,
Yeah.
still when I was doing more of thinking of combat, things.
Right.
Yeah. So there's this game which you are playing, Call of Duty.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
and
remember that.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I had a friend. His name was Jerry.
Hmm.
So they had a computer. Back
Right.
affording a computer back then. It
Back
was
then,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they had one. So we'd go and play there.
Hmm.
So this guy is like his father was a computer scientist.
Hmm.
My dad, just a regular civil servant, so I
Mhm.
didn't have that tech know-how. So he had
Right.
the tech know-how more than
Mhm.
me. So
Hmm.
each and every time we were at their place, I would always make sure that I won. Yeah.
Hmm.
So COD and Mortal Kombat. And the style sometimes I'll do. He was like, you know what? Let's show my dad what you did.
Liu Kang and Sub Zero.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
techniques to fight each other.
Fatality and babality.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So when I was in high school, I was like, there's something, kind of. I used to do something with this thing. What
Mhm.
can I do with this?
Right.
So I started getting much involved, and then there's the sci-fi
Yeah.
movies. So it's called Continuum.
Hmm.
So there's this guy called Zach. He's like a computer genius.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, so I a teenager can do something like this.
Yeah.
So and I was like, yeah, maybe this is the path. And
Right.
I tried it, but it failed.
Hmm.
But after 2014, after I did my KCSE,
Hmm.
I thought I would be a military person.
Right.
My mom was like, nada,
Hmm.
you're not. This is, you have to have a structure. So I wanted to do, so that's what would have led me to do cadet.
Hmm.
Yeah, but when I entered campus,
Yeah.
I had a problem with choosing the courses normally as people, because I wanted to do aeronautical engineering,
Mhm.
which isn't, I think, still not marketable in the
Mhm.
country. Computer science, I had like three cousins
Mhm.
who had already graduated
Right.
with second class honors. Yeah,
Mhm. Wow.
top class. Yeah,
Hmm.
and they were not yet employed.
Right.
So parents were like, dude, this is a no-brainer. Yeah.
Hmm.
So what I opted for was electrical engineering.
Right.
And I opted for it because I thought that when I do electrical,
Mhm.
I'll be into robotics. So yeah,
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
how I did electrical. That's my background,
Mhm.
electrical and electronics engineering,
Right.
the power option. Yeah.
Mhm.
Power
Wow.
generation, yeah.
That's quite an interesting story. What really caught me is when you talked about having a computer back in the day. Us guys had one computer and we were 8 kids, so you can imagine that.
Yeah.
Everybody sees you walking to the computer room and like, what are you doing there? It was a precious device.
Yeah.
And the gaming back in the day was also quite interesting and creative. From the Nintendo 64s that we used to have,
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to see the advancements that we have in in technology right now. So at least you still have a way to save the world. As much as you're not in the military, you're using tech to save the world, which I find pretty cool.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned about AI, I was just quickly drawn, and I was like, I really want to know what it is. So for someone who doesn't know anything about AI,
Yeah.
like anybody who's just clueless, and what would you say AI is?
I like having it in a simple terms.
Right.
I'd say AI is a smart program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, what it does is kind of try to think on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's AI in general.
Right.
Yeah. So whereby, let's talk of what is a good example. Let's talk of autonomous vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing which a human being can do.
Yes.
If that's what now AI replicates.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It has its own intelligence, as the name artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So that's the simplest of AI, I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it has a long story,
Mhm.
about AI, because before it wasn't AI.
Mm-hmm.
No. So it was something. It's a field actually still studied.
Yeah.
It's cybernetics. Cybernetics. Yeah. So this is a field which try to kind of create humanoids.
Mhm.
Yeah, like robots that actually human.
That actually think like humans.
Yeah, and everything, even the skin and everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's cybernetics.
Yeah.
So that was like back in late 1800s
Mhm.
to early 1900s.
Right.
So although still the technology wasn't that advanced,
Mhm.
so it had a slow progression
Mhm.
until the World War II.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is where like we find AI like becoming the AI which we understand right now.
Yes.
And this is thanks to the Godfather Alan Turing. Yeah. So he was able to create a machine that was called an Enigma
Mhm.
that was able to break the German cipher code
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
its own.
To break the German
German.
cipher code.
Yeah, which Germans were using to communicate with their. I forgot some bit of my history.
Yeah.
They were the allies. I don't remember the other guys. Yeah, so the whole communication flow, it was ciphered in a way that the other team could in the street,
Mhm.
all of them will be replaceable.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's that scary, but what we can say is that other than seeing it as a threat,
Mhm.
we can see it as a tool. Yeah, a tool coming to enhance our productivity.
Right.
Because yes, it's taking some jobs, but what else can we do as human beings? Because these are tasks which are kind of somewhat tiresome.
Yeah.
Some mind exhausting. Yeah, and although you might not wake up tomorrow with something to do, what can you do other than that?
Mhm.
So maybe retraining, that will be our focus, because yeah, I mean this that a whole debate on even people being provided by something we call universal like an end month salary because you're no longer working.
Yes, I actually heard about that the other day,
Yeah.
and the person was telling me guys are just gonna be sitting down and people are not gonna be working anymore. Do you think that's gonna become a reality?
Yes, to some extent. Having read some books, yeah. Yeah. But from a book I love, it's called "Do Androids Still Dream of Electric Ships?" So I think you've seen the movie if you love sci-fi.
Oh, yeah.
So the movie is called Blade Runners.
Blade Runner. Okay.
2047.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you look at the whole aspect of that, is more of we have already have created humanoids. So these things will need repairs, and calibration. So for me, I see our focus will be based on that.
Okay.
Yeah, people will
Will
not
be needed to like rebrand or let me say not even reevaluate. What's the word to use? Probably just keep them up to date.
Thank you.
In some sort of way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way For me, I'm foreseeing it.
Whoa, it gets scary when I start thinking about all this, things that are changing, and sometimes some of this technology can really, really like scare you. But it's interesting at the same time to note,
Yeah.
and I definitely want to hear more about what S Group does in the AI field, and just to share a few stories. Of course, for all of you who are tuned in live on our YouTube page, you can feel free to send in your questions. With Nikabed here, who's a co-founder of SGuard Corporation. We're talking about artificial intelligence. We're talking about creation of humanoids. I'm learning words that I've never heard before, but I really want to be up to date. So I think this would be a great platform for you. If you can feel free to send in your questions if you want to know more about artificial intelligence. If you want to know what Nikabed is doing with his organization, of course. Now, just to bring to your attention, the Africa Cloud and Security Summit is set to bring together leading experts in cloud computing and cybersecurity for 2 days of key discussions and presentations. The event, organized by DX5, formerly it used to be called CIO Africa, is slated for 16th and 17th of March 2023. So that's in about 3 days from now at the Makio Hotel, formerly Crown Plaza, Upper Hill, Nairobi. It will also be available virtually for remote attendees. So the Africa Cloud and Security Summit promises to be a timely and important event for anyone interested in cloud computing and cybersecurity. So that's going to be the first focus of the day. It's going to be cloud computing on the first day. And it's going to provide a platform for attendees to learn from experts, share experiences, and network with industry players. So if that is an event that you want to attend to, you can calendarize that. Of course, again, it's happening from the 16th and 17th of March, 2023 at the Makio Hotel. It used to be called Crown Plaza. Yeah, so for those techies out there, guys who really want to know more about that, you can definitely stay tuned into that. So as we come back, of course, Nikabed is going to be giving us more information about AI intelligence. Of course, he'll share where to find him, where to learn more, just to get more information about what's really happening. We really don't want to be the kind of guys who are losing our jobs just because of AI, but we want to be part of the process.
Sure.
Yeah, so rather than being scared, I guess let's just embrace what we don't know,
Sure.
and definitely learn. Yeah, so after the break, we're gonna have more of that. Time to enjoy some music, and we'll come back with SG Group co-founder Nikabed. Welcome back to the Tech Street. It's 49 minutes past 4 p.m. and we're here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Of course, the Tech Street is a show that always keeps you guys up to date with stuff that's happening in your world of technology. If you're curious to know what, artificial intelligence is all about, of course, we're here with Nikabed Gathaba, who is the co-founder of SGAD Group Kenya. Thank you once again for taking us through the journey that you've had in the tech world and the experiences that you've shared with us. Quite enlightening, of course. Now, I want us to touch on something that also scares me when it comes to tech, as much as it's exciting.
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Are you trying to tell me that someone's just going to walk into this studio one day and record me for like an hour and then program my voice, my attitude into a system?
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, the Tech Street is on, but I'm not here. Like someone else is hosting the show. Some of the dangers. Tell me about ChatGPT.
So, well, ChatGPT, yeah, it's been like the buzzword, yeah. ChatGPT is a tool, or it's a model, or more of a software.
Yeah.
So which we can say it's called generative AI.
Yeah.
So what simply does is generate context based on what you want. The prompts which you've given.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you want it to write a poem. It can write a poem based on certain key prompts. It can capture on the the whole sentence you've given it.
Right.
And that's what it does. Simply it's a generative AI. Yeah. So it's more of a, it's, to me it was a surprise, because I'm used to generative AI being in things we call computer vision. So that's to do with pictures,
right,
videos, and the likes. So when it was NLP, and NLP, it's natural language processing. So this is the process where computers understand words as the way we humans understand them. Yeah?
Yes.
So, and I was like, this thing is it's something, I know there was some developments, but no, this is another level.
It's major.
Yeah. So until when I tried it, it is good. Yeah. I actually love the people. So the most surprising thing to me, it was the inference. Yeah, the fastness in the,
and the responses.
Yeah, the response. Yeah. I mean, having such a system with more than 1 million plus users,
right,
within 5 days, having distributed or rather deployed a model before,
right,
I know the complexity. So until I learned the hardware part of it, and I was like, no wonder. Yeah. Because they're using NVIDIA's GPU. And I mean, NVIDIA is like the leader in the GPU world. So GPU is more like an advanced of CPU.
Right.
So graphic processing unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to give a difference in a more easier way, is that a CPU is a vehicle, a smart vehicle, that can take you from one point to the other very quickly. GPU is more of a tractor. Yeah, it can do the hard job,
heavy
for you.
Work.
Yeah. So as you can know, if you run let's say a model like ChatGPT in a CPU,
yeah,
and such a number of people, try to call from the do a call from ChatGPT, it will crash. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too strong and powerful for it.
Yeah. So, and funny thing is that it's based on mathematics. So if it's not doing the mathematics quicker, it's collapse. So that's ChatGPT. It's just generative, and I think there's something which people have never yet noted.
Yeah.
So this website it's called This Person Does Not Exist. So
this person does not exist.
Yeah. So what technically is, it generates faces of people who do not exist, from children to very old people. So you just click it and it generates a new face. each and every time. So this person technically does not exist, but it still uses the same concepts of ChatGPT. It's
Right.
just generative. Yeah.
Well, I remember when guys were doing this, the trends on TikTok. They
Yeah.
were posting pictures of themselves on the AI thing,
Yeah.
and the AI would come up with images, fabricated images of what you may look. I don't know, some guy holding a sword, a lady in some interesting fairy tale, kind of imagery.
Yeah.
And we had some guys who were complaining and they're actually saying that it's very dangerous for you guys to post those pictures because slowly your information, your facial recognition, they're going to use that data later on to hack into your accounts. Like when you look at when you look at banks, when you look at how the advancements are changing, facial recognition is becoming the in thing. And this is a platform where guys are just posting everything of theirs. Yeah. Do you think it's a threat? Do you think the threat is legit that actually people may gain access to information, bank account details, so on and so forth using these AI tools?
Yeah, and this is very unfortunate because let's talk of what they're called. This apps which is it loan? The term to do with loan apps which give you loan. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
So
like the lending apps.
Yeah, lending apps. Yeah, I was looking for that term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to lend you a certain amount of money, they need to understand who you are, and whatever they need to understand, some of the context are more private information, like I won't say the ones which are in Kenya.
Yeah.
But there's this app in China that actually looks at the percentage of, or rather the battery percentage, and how quiet you charge your phone.
What?
Yeah. So if you're that guy who, more 15% below or 30% below, you won't
qualify for a loan.
Thank you.
Why?
Because
what has the money got to do with my battery?
That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Based on so it's more of I don't know if I can talk of statistics or psychology part. Yeah, it's more of if you're not careful with your own phone,
then you cannot be able to be trusted.
Yeah.
Do you think like guys who don't charge their phones are like not responsible people? Is that what I kind of like feel like that's where they're heading?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
So actually sometimes it gets into your bank records and the looks like. I mean, yes, it's good based on the business model of the companies. Yeah, they want to understand if you're able to pay them, or you'll be able to pay it, but why should you learn my pattern of
exactly?
Yeah, so to me I don't find it more of that part. So actually it was a problem, and there's this one wonderful guy called David Trask. So he's from OpenMind. So there's something we are calling privacy enhanced technologies. So what they simply do is help companies which are dealing with more sensitive data,
right,
to be able to use the same models, that's ML or AI models, to provide the services without invading users' privacy. Yeah, so the guys from OpenMind, hi. Yeah. So so there's this tool which is called PySift. So it's more of data science, but there's the difference between AI and data science.
Data science, yeah.
Yeah, so data science is just how you apply data. I like saying data in a scientific way, but what type of information you get from certain data.
Right.
So this they actually have there's a project which you are working on. So it's for medicine, like how hospitals have a lot of data.
Yeah.
Like X-rays data, but they cannot share it according to HIPAA, the regulation. So it will be invading your privacy. But this data is what will be required for a model to be trained and to give better results.
Okay.
Of which will be very helpful to people who might, let's say, if it's breast cancer for ladies, the moment you're scanned, your data can be compared to the other data without any of it matching somebody else.
All right.
And they can catch cancer earlier before.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's doing is try and bring this languages,
Into a.
and making them, the same way Google did of Japanese,
Mhm.
the whole translation thing.
Mhm.
She's doing that in such a
Brilliant.
way. Yeah. And like they actually did their is it seed round? Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yes, this is the way to go.
Oh.
So yeah. So those are the two companies which I can for now say in
Mention.
AI they are good. And
Alright.
us actually,
Ah.
I cannot forget about
And
us.
SGAD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for us as God, what we do is more of consulting.
Yes.
So we realized people out here, they have a lot of data. Yeah, SMEs, startups,
Mhm.
they gather a lot of data. Then they go and create a machine learning model and say we have an AI. So when you try to look at whatever model they're doing, yes, they've trained a model which is having a good accuracy,
Mhm.
but deploying it is a problem.
Okay.
Scaling it is a problem. So really it's not like they're not maximizing it, and then at some extent it doesn't add business value to them,
Mhm.
because like scaling the whole thing, it might cost them. Yeah, I mean the GPUs are expensive, nothing,
Yeah.
not that cheap. Yeah, and so we sat down with some friends. Actually a story about SGAD. Maybe I take you back. So SGAD didn't start as SGAD, it was SmartGAD back in 2019. What we were doing, we were creating IoT product
Mhm.
that would monitor our drivers' behavior.
IoT, Internet of
Internet of Things. Yeah.
Mhm.
So basically it would monitor drivers' behavior on how well he was driving, and then at the end of the month we'd reward the person based on his driving, and kind of punish in quotes.
We need that on Thika Road right away.
Yeah. So but the sad part is that during the COVID, there were no vehicles which you're moving, and the only ones which you're moving were like transits
Yeah,
for goods.
yeah.
So we hadn't scaled to that part.
Mhm.
So we had to shut down everything. We went broke. Yeah. So and we were like, guys, what should we do? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a dream worth working on.
Yeah. So late 2020, it came as an idea, trying to do some research, African context market, here and there.
Sorry.
Excuse. Yeah. And we were like, what can we do about whatever data we've seen? Yeah.
Mhm.
So what we did is maybe we can try and have some talks with some few startups
Right.
here and there,
Mhm.
understand their pain points.
Mhm.
Some is that they didn't have skilled machine learning engineers.
Mhm.
The others was that they didn't know how to deploy.
Mhm.
Others, they didn't know if they actually needed AI. Yeah. And this is the whole scope. You're like, okay, what can we do about this? So consulting is a good approach,
Mhm.
as we actually give them our tech expertise,
Right.
and help them make sense of their businesses.
Mhm.
Even though we had a product, we actually had to stop it and then come back and focus on this. And then we were like, we actually want Kenya to be ahead.
Mhm.
And like for me, that's my dream. We have the Kenyan dream. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you look at big techs, Google, Microsoft, name them. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it was just last year they started setting up here.
Mhm. True.
But in Ghana, they did like 2016. I mean, even Ghana, they have.
I think in Rwanda too. No. Yeah.
Actually, no, we are ahead. We are ahead of Rwanda.
Oh, okay.
The only thing Rwanda has compared to us is that their environment is conducive
For investments.
and
Yeah.
for startups,
Yeah.
because actually it takes you 6 hours to open up to register your business.
Oh, wow.
Here in Kenya, there's another song. Yeah. So that's actually, I mean, we are like, okay, maybe if we focus this and show that yes, this is doable in Africa, but
Sorry about that.
apologies,
It's all right.
I have a cold.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's doable by Africans,
Mhm.
especially in Kenya.
Mhm.
Then big techs. I mean, for me, I'm looking forward for to having an AI research center.
Wow.
Yeah, like specifically for the African context. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so not just some sales place, this the way they do around here, but
Yeah.
really a research lab which employs our graduates.
Mhm.
I mean, for me, I've interacted with different graduates,
Mhm.
actually from abroad,
Mhm.
who are doing their PhDs, who are Kenyans, and these
Mhm.
guys are doing so much amazing outside of
Mhm.
actually Kenya and Africa, of which would be much beneficial to us first.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, we need to bring it back. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want to sound like a pan Africanist, but yeah. So
Yeah, we need to bring it down here. We
yeah,
definitely do.
but back to the roots.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we do consulting in AI and that's artificial intelligence and
Right.
IoT. So in AI, we specialize in 3 sectors. So we talk of computer vision,
Right.
that is to do with facial recognition, video analytics, and the likes.
Yes.
The second is NLP, that's natural language processing. So this is where we talk of chatbots, conversation AI,
Yeah.
sentiment analysis. And in AI, the last part is the privacy enhancing technologies. Like, yes, we have a model. What kind of data are you using? I mean, I'm yet to see a GDPR, form in Africa. And the moment it hits Africa, so
It's
many
gonna be big.
companies, they're
Yeah.
gonna be in big trouble. I mean, you've seen like technically some top corporates in Kenya,
Yeah.
they're having some troubles with the data protector. Let me use that term. Yeah. And yeah, that's saddening. So in IoT, we are trying to make it more of a Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is smart homes. Yeah, basically everything is wireless, controlled from anywhere. The other part is telematics, like the product which I was talking about, which was behavioral analysis for a driver. And the last one is smart grids. Excuse. So we've seen the way South Africa is suffering right now
Right.
for power. And actually last year, I had a project with a student from Strathmore guiding
Yeah.
humans to that point. So that's particularly about SGAD. So projects which you've been in is one we did with a company abroad that was deploying training a model. It's a poultry farm. We were helping in them to make sense of why some chickens were not gaining weight, others.
Others were okay.
Eish,
So sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
sorry about that. So yeah, and it was something we were doing, something we call edge deployment. So this is something which you might not be able to monitor. So it's a project which took us 3 months.
Okay.
So very technical.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I ever had a burnout.
Oh.
Yeah, because we had to start from scratch. When you talk of training a model, there's the data part. So for us, we don't handle the data part, but this we did even the data part, annotation and the likes, and it's so very hard getting people to do this, and then they didn't have that enough funding.
Yes.
So we had to do it in-house. So it was crazy working 16 hours. But the good part is that they improved their talk of yield.
Right.
So from 40% to 70%, an increase of 30%, by just having AI that is able to make them understand that this side of the poultry warehouse is, these chickens are not consuming very well because of this and this, and this is the reason why this, and now they can be able to
integrate.
and make their own decision on which is the best approach for them.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's it. The others, I think they're more of private. I'm not supposed to share.
Okay.
It's NDA based. Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. But apart from that, I've been in some hackathons. So I think I must mention this.
Yeah.
It's
The ethical hacker. Are you ethical? They say ethical hacker.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
can we trust that you actually? What does it mean when they say ethical hacker? So is this someone who's allowed to access other people's security systems, or just touch on that as we wind up?
Yeah, so I had so yeah, it might sound unethical, but the ethical hacker is more of somebody whose intent is aligned to the company.
Okay.
So that's to secure, not
Right.
to harm.
Mm-hmm.
But for unethical, or now the so famous hacker doesn't follow the rules. He's trying to profit or he's trying to sabotage something like that.
Right.
So ethical hacking is very good. But anyway, so the hacking which I'm talking about is
Right.
not really hacking.
All right.
It's more of finding a solution in a matter of short hours or days.
Okay.
Yeah, so back in 2019, I think that's when I was really, graduating as an AI guy. I wasn't that good. So we did so it was a competition where we developed a mobile application that could be able to diagnose diabetes retinopathy, so which affects the eye, which causes one to go blind. So when we did it in actually 2 days, because the third day was presenting. Excuse. And we are using AI. So we were number one in Nairobi.
Right.
I think we were number, was it? I don't remember globally, but we were actually outdone by a teenager who was 17 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. That's how behind sometimes we are as Africans, because they already have the technology for themselves.
Yeah.
And if you'd compare a high school student from Africa, let's talk of Kenya, and more of a grade 6, like junior secondary in US, they are at the same level.
Right.
So when these guys meet in campus, there's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
So that 17-year-old kid motivated me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Apologies for that.
No worries. I mean, it's been a lively conversation with you, Nika, but I feel like this is a conversation we should definitely have over a podcast.
Yeah.
Of course, TechStreet will be extending, and we'll have a podcast series that's also going to be running, and we're going to be having our Twitter Spaces every Thursday as well. So I think such will be platforms just to teach us more about what we've learned today, and we really appreciate you. I think you're doing an amazing job as a young guy in the technology field. I'm super proud of what you guys are doing at SGAT, and definitely just want to wish you all the best in your endeavors. Yeah, so after we leave the breaker, we're going to be having Paul Makolaka, who's already in studio with us as well, and he'll be talking to us about blockchain, crypto, and Web3. So that's also going to be an interesting conversation for you guys to hear. So do send in your questions as well. And of course, keep it Icon Radio. Yes, a very good evening to you. You are back on the Tech Street with me, JP. Of course, this show comes to you every Monday from 4 to 6 p.m., where we give you guys information about technology, what's trending, what's happening, what's new, what's hot, what's there to drop, what's there to cop, you know. All that information is right here with you, and I'm happy because I have another special guest in the building, and he is here with me, Mr. Paul Makolaka, who's also the executive director of Abia Africa. Karibu sana.
Asante sana JP.
Unajihisi vipi?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
I'm excited. Let's do this, man.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm so happy to have you here,
Yeah.
and of course for returning my calls and just being making time for you to be here. Yeah, it's always good to to learn more, and of course we're going to be talking about blockchain technology, what he does, how he educates students about blockchain and crypto and Web3 as well.
Yes.
Yeah, these are many people listen to blockchain and some run away. Some do not want to listen to it. They just think this is another scammer, this is fraud.
I know.
So first of all, just tell us about yourself, your inspiration behind this, and how you joined doing what you do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, JP,
You're most welcome.
and the team
Yes.
for having me
Absolutely.
this evening. This is
Yes.
very exciting for me.
All right.
Actually, this is my first time to be on radio.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's the first time for everything, man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so
Karibu.
my names are Paul Makolaka,
Yes.
and I'm the co-founder and the executive director for ABIA.
Yes.
ABIA stands for Africa Blockchain Youth Ambassadors.
African block.
Yes. So basically, I'm a bit older than you may think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done a lot of things.
All right.
I've been a banker.
Mm-hmm.
I've been an investment advisor.
All right.
I've run a security company.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of things.
Wow.
I've been an entrepreneur.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So actually, last time I was an entrepreneur, and I looked at myself
Mm-hmm.
and the kind of direction that I wanted to go in my
Yes.
next phase of life.
Yes.
And I thought that is not the direction that I wanted to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is that I decided to go back and do my master's.
Mm-hmm.
And for many years now, while my peers were doing the in thing,
Mm-hmm.
MBA,
Yeah.
those unfortunately those things never impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I came across MSc Financial Engineering,
Mm-hmm.
and for many years, even while I was still in campus, even though I did not come from a technical background,
Yes.
but I've always been fascinated by computers.
Yeah.
And so by then I had started teaching myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had taught myself how to code in Python
Mm-hmm.
and how to code in R.
Yes.
And so by the time I was applying for this MSc in Financial Engineering,
Mm-hmm.
actually Python was a requirement because that was the main language of instruction.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, that was very timely.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a full scholarship.
Wow.
And my plan was that once I'm done,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to to North America
Mm-hmm.
or Europe,
Mm-hmm.
because that is where my skills would be mostly mostly applicable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because we were being trained to be quants,
Mm-hmm.
or you'd call them quantitative analysts,
Mm-hmm.
or people who build algorithms
Yes.
for trading.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so that's what we were doing. That's what we were being trained for.
All right.
Now, it happened that in the last unit
Mm-hmm.
of that course,
Yes.
we were introduced to blockchain.
Okay.
And when I saw what the capabilities that blockchain had,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it changed my life. It pinned everything around.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally shelved the ambitions to go to Europe or North America.
All right.
And so I said, this is what I'll die with. This is I'm getting into this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought to myself that, look, if I wanted to add value,
Mm-hmm.
not just myself, but even to the industry,
Right.
then I needed a platform whereby I would get into the real stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And so what happened is that on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
I saw an organization called Blockchain and Climate Institute.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a think tank that tries to advocate for the use of emerging technology like blockchain
Mm-hmm.
and other DLTs
Right.
to accelerate climate action.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a perfect mix for me
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, myself, I'm also passionate about climate issues.
Right.
I'm very conscious about
Mm-hmm.
the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that, I mean,
It was a
that,
perfect gel.
that was a perfect gel.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to them, and and they took me in as a volunteer research officer.
Okay.
I was among the first. Actually, I was the first volunteer officer from Africa then.
Mm.
Now the organization has grown to have more than 300 volunteers
Wow.
spread across the globe.
Wow.
And the kind of experience they have given me is that, this is an organization that actually works a lot with, government
Mm-hmm.
across the globe.
Yes.
It works with, international organizations like the UN, like, there are programs that we do with the CTCN.
Mm-hmm.
And so this actually was a very good platform for me, because for me, I wanted to get into the industry,
Mm-hmm.
not for, getting the real stuff.
Yes.
So what that means is that being a researcher, I've been involved in, doing research. I've been involved in, developing concept notes. I've been involved in, I've had access to, to read a lot of research papers.
Right.
To, a lot of materials, technical materials.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that has really given me a good, a good preparation. That
Right.
has really prepared me well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, some time back, I would say 1.5 years ago, I thought to myself that, look, I think it is now high time that I can start now applying what I'm getting from the other side
Mm-hmm.
and try to see how I can apply this in the African context,
Yes.
and see how I can also help,
Mm-hmm.
how I can add value to to this continent,
Mhm.
starting with Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how the idea of Africa Blockchain Youth
Youth.
Ambassadors
Mhm.
was born.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was very simple. If you look at demographics, today, Africa has the most youthful population.
True.
Number two, Africa has one of the highest unemployment rates in the world. And every year, our universities are churning out students. And these students, when they get out there, opportunities are becoming less and less every day. And so I thought to myself, I mean, how can I add value to this? How can I be an agent of change and try to change this conversation? Because for many years, the young Africans have been waiting on their politicians to, to provide solutions for them. And they, of course, the bad news is politicians are not going to do that. These young people have been waiting on their governments
Yeah.
to do for them stuff, to create opportunities for them. And of course, we've been taken in circles, round and round,
Yeah.
year in, year out. So for me, this technology is so profound in that we are given an opportunity. This technology gives us an opportunity, and especially African continent, to leapfrog in terms of development,
Yes.
so that we don't have to go through the different stages that other developed countries had to go through. So that is how profound this technology is for me.
It saves a lot of time.
Yes. So that's why I'm so passionate about this technology. Yeah. Now, of course, we've had issues with crypto scams, and what I can say is that I think the reason why blockchain, crypto, Web3 is put in bad light is because of a number of things. Number one, there's lack of awareness.
Right.
So in terms of people have no idea even what blockchain is. People have no idea what crypto is. People have no idea what Web3 is. So, and anytime somebody is scammed, they think that, scam is equals to crypto. So anytime you mention crypto or blockchain, the first thing that comes to people's mind is it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
So I think also, and then the other thing also I think is that when these technologies were being introduced, being a new technology, there are people in our society who will also want to take advantage because of something new.
Something new, yeah.
Something that people have no enough information about.
True.
So people always take advantage of that. And I would just like to, to post this to the audience. For example, today, if somebody cons you through M-Pesa, so is M-Pesa the scam? Is it the Kenya shilling the scam?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
a
the
scammer is a
individual.
scammer.
That's true.
A thief is a thief.
They'll get you anyway.
Exactly. So whichever name they come, a thief is a thief. So I think we should be able to differentiate between, because even in fiat currency, I mean, we've heard of pyramid schemes.
True.
We've had people, con people.
Even just a chama, simple chama.
Exactly.
Pesa yako inaenda hivyo.
Exactly. So we should call it what it is. These are just con men.
Yeah.
So we should not be allowed to, to merge all of it, or to, to spearhead a smear campaign against a technology that has the potential to bring very nice things, very good things to this continent. And the reason why, for me, is that one of the things that I'm very passionate about this technology is that, look at it this way: Africa is one of those continents that are less developed in terms of infrastructure. And when I talk of infrastructure, it could be any type of infrastructure.
Yeah.
Be it ICT infrastructure, be it financial infrastructure, be it any other infrastructure. So you find that when it comes to moving to a new technology, Africa has an advantage compared to other continents, in that because our infrastructure are not mature
Yet.
and not developed. So what that means is that it is very easy for us to switch to this new technology, compared to other developed countries whereby they have already invested so much, that switching to a new technology, they would have what we call technology risk. So that, for example, for us, in terms of what we have invested, is still very minimal. So that gives us, we have actually the biggest potential in this new technology. So I think it is time for Africans to actually embrace this. And one of the other things that this technology does is that it levels the playing field. So that, for example, the barriers that were there, they are either brought down or they are minimized. And that is what Africans need. And we have already seen this. We have already seen, for example, what cryptocurrency can do. And Bitcoin has just proven that, I mean, it is possible. It is possible to have a currency that it is not controlled by any central authority. And people can transfer value within that network. So this, I mean, for me, I cannot be convinced otherwise.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When it comes to Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain, for someone who's just a lay person, and doesn't understand, because personally I've received very many DMs on my Instagram, and you find someone with some very flashy pictures, nice cars, and some guys will flaunt some cash, and they'll be like, hello, my name is whoever, and I want to help you invest. Have you heard of ABC? Like, I would like you to tell us, like, what are the signs to know if this is a legitimate company that someone really is trading on? And also what is blockchain basically?
Thank you so much, JP. And I would say that my background has helped me a lot in this space. In 2008, I was an offshore financial advisor.
Wow.
So what that means is that I worked for an organization that was taking taking money from investors and investing for them in offshore products.
Okay.
Yeah. So during the financial crisis of 2008,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the midst of that.
Whoa.
I saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And during my graduate program,
Mm-hmm.
you know, part of what we did is that you study the different markets.
Mm-hmm.
You study the different types of markets. Then, specifically in the financial markets,
Yes.
we've looked at all the crashes that have been there, that have ever existed,
Mm-hmm.
all the way from the 16th century. People who have heard of the tulip bulbs in Netherlands
Mm-hmm.
in the 16 something.
Right.
So we've looked at all that, and I can tell you for sure, they have a lot of similarities. Markets behave in the same way
Mm-hmm.
because human beings have not changed. Human beings have not changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to your specific questions in terms of differentiating.
Yes.
Now let me start with blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Blockchain, I'm sure you've heard of. I'm sure everyone has heard of. Majority of people probably have heard of a ledger. You've heard of the double entry ledger,
Yes.
the single entry ledger.
Yes.
So the double entry ledger, when you do a transaction, one side you debit, one side you credit.
Credit.
So one side increases, one side reduces,
Mm-hmm.
so that the transaction can balance.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So blockchain is the same thing. It's basically a ledger of transactions,
Mm-hmm.
but now there are other added features on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number one, this ledger is secured by cryptography.
Mm-hmm.
So that cryptography make it very secure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I mean secure, that does not mean that it is 100% secure. Yeah? But it is so secure that you cannot compare with the traditional systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other very, very important aspect is that these ledgers, let's say, for example, like as an accountant,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to the bank, for example, you have an account.
Yes.
It is your bank that keeps the ledger. You don't keep the ledger.
No.
It is the bank that keeps the ledger. So when you request a statement,
The bank provides that for
you will trust that they will give you a statement that reflects the true
status.
of your account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, what blockchain does is that, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if you are a bank and I'm an account holder,
Mm-hmm.
anytime we make a transaction,
Mm-hmm.
you have a copy and I have a copy of
Yes.
the same transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I don't even need to ask for a statement from you
Mm-hmm.
because we all have the same
The
copy.
same copy.
Yeah.
So we all know exactly what's happening.
We all know what's happening.
Yeah.
So what that does, it now brings transparency
Mm-hmm.
so that we can have more trust and openness in what we are doing.
All right.
Yeah. Now, at the technology level, blockchain is like a superhighway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then cryptocurrency or the other applications like Web3 applications are like the cars.
Mm-hmm.
On a highway, we have lorries, we have trucks, we have saloon cars, we have all sorts of different vehicles.
Yes.
So that's what it is. So what blockchain does, it provides the foundation upon which other applications are built on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So other applications are like decentralized applications. You've heard of DApp.
Yes.
Yes, that decentralized applications.
Yeah.
So what blockchain does, it enables decentralized applications to operate or to be implemented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, cryptocurrency. Look at it this way. Cryptocurrency, depending on where or which regulator is defining or which organization is looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, cryptocurrency can be looked at like a currency, like a normal currency. That is, if people agree that it is a medium of exchange. Because you see, again, even with a traditional fiat currency, it does not have an intrinsic value. It is just that people have agreed that this is the medium
This
of
is
exchange
what you're going to use.
as a medium of exchange. So, like for example, in the olden days, people have used cowrie shells as a medium of exchange. People have used cows
Goats.
as a medium of exchange. People have used cereal as a medium of exchange. Yes? So it's the same thing with cryptocurrency. The only difference now is that cryptocurrency is in a digital form. It's just like, for example, M-Pesa. Can you touch M-Pesa?
No.
You can't touch it. But you just have, through the M-Pesa app, you have a wallet. Yes? And so based on your transaction, it can reduce or it can increase. So that is the same thing with cryptocurrency. So people should not imagine and try to make it very complicated. And people don't even have to understand the mechanics of how cryptocurrency works. But they should just take it just like a normal fiat currency. Now the difference is that this is in a digital format. And then the other difference, of course, is with a cryptocurrency is that it is not issued by a central bank. That is the difference.
It's not issued by a central bank.
Yes. It is not issued by a central authority. So what happened is that depending on the agreement within that network or the model that has been adopted by that network, it is created within that network. So it is an incentive. It is created through an incentive mechanism. Let's say, for example, that if you do this, or if you do this that supports the network, then this is what you'll be rewarded in.
Okay.
So that is how crypto is created. And then now once it has been created, it is now distributed because the people who have received the tokens or the crypto, they can now use it for other purposes. They can use it to transact. They can use it to buy things. They can use it for whatever reason. So that is now how it is distributed to the other people. Yeah.
Right.
So basically that's what crypto is. And then when you talk of Web3,
Yes.
Web3, as I mentioned earlier, this is a new form of internet that is run in a decentralized manner. That it does not have central authority that controls it. Let me give an example. We all know Google. Yes?
Yes.
And we love Google. We all do, all the stuff that you want to do. You can always ask Google.
Yeah.
Now, what runs Google behind the scenes, they have data centers in certain places. They have servers inside those data centers. And then they have applications that run the Google on the front end. So that when you do a search, it's like, for example, when you go to the post office and you say you want to get a service. Let's say you want to check if you have a letter. So what the customer service will do, they'll go to your specific box, or if you have a private bag, they'll go and check if there's anything. If you have something, they'll bring you something. If you don't have something under your box, you get nothing. So that is the same thing with Google. You search, if they have something within their database,
They give you the information.
they give you the information. If they don't, you will see that, that funny reply that, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
Now, so in Web3, we are now building applications that do not require an intermediary or intervention from anyone. So they run on their own. So they are executed by what we call smart contracts. Yeah? So smart contracts is basically if statement. So for example, we say that if you deliver 3 oranges to me by 5 p.m., I'll pay you 5 shillings. If you do not, I will not pay you. So basically, that's what a smart contract is. It is if statement, but now it's written in code.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Wow.
that is how now decentralized applications communicate.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is, it does not require any intermediary or any third party, or it does not require intervention of anyone to execute. They execute on their own based on the parameters which have been given. That if you do this, this is what happens.
Yes.
If you don't do this, this is what happens. Yes.
How safe is this because you've just said that it has no intermediaries,
Yeah.
no in-betweens, it's directly linked, huh?
Yeah.
Does that make it safe or dangerous? Like, I have no one else to help me get more information. Okay, not about information, but like the flow transactional wise. Does it not expose someone to more risk? No?
So this is what happens.
Yes.
We have decentralized applications that depend on oracles. So oracles are off-chain platforms. So when I mean by off-chain, I mean is that they are not within the blockchain network. So that means that they are getting information from the traditional platforms. Let's say, for example, it could be getting information from the weather forecast platforms or databases.
Yes.
So with that information, they are able to execute. So let me give you a very basic example. And this is one of the applications that I'm very excited about. Yeah. For example, there is something called risk insurance.
Yes.
And we all know insurance can be very expensive. And it is expensive because of the model that is used. Because there are a lot of intermediaries. And every intermediaries adds cost to it. Yeah. So one of the very, one of the areas that really this has a lot of good application is, for example, in the agriculture. Yeah. So, for example, in agriculture, if you have a risk insurance product that is based on blockchain and that is executed by smart contracts, what that means, for example, is that, let's say you say that we are going to give you as a farmer an insurance product.
Right.
And every month you'll be paying, let's say, 100 shillings. Yeah. Now, in the smart contract, remember what I said about smart contracts?
Yeah.
They are self-executing.
Yes.
So in the smart contract, we have programmed and say that, for example, when rainfall falls below, let's say, 30 millimeters for, let's say, an extended period of time, let's say for 3 months or 6 months, yes, then now we know that that is a sign of drought. If, let's say, temperatures rise above a certain threshold for a given duration of time, then we know that that drought has set in. So what the smart contract will do, we have said that when this threshold or when these requirements have been met, then it will automatically trigger a payment, a compensation to that farmer.
Wow.
Without going through, like the way insurance, you have to call assessors,
your
you have
agent,
you have to go through this, you have to go through that. So just imagine the impact of what that has. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So that, for example, what we've just witnessed with the drought currently in the country, those farmers that have lost cows, that doesn't really have to happen. Yeah. So that, for example, as long as the rains do not come or they do not meet a certain threshold, as long as the temperatures go above a certain threshold within a certain period of time, then these farmers, these livestock herders, they would have just gotten their payment automatically. Are you getting it?
Yes.
So those are now the implications. Those are the things that now we are exploring. Those are the things that we are looking at. So that is how revolutionary blockchain is.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this is deep. Huh?
So this is not just about,
because
this is not just about the way, like that come invest here. cryptocurrency was among the first use cases of blockchain. But it is not the only one. There are other many use cases of blockchain that we just want to start exploring now.
Yeah.
These are now what we call utility use cases. Yeah. It has a lot of utility cases that can be used in healthcare, in agriculture, in logistics, supply chain. Just imagine a situation whereby, for example, a coffee farmer in Nyeri can sell their coffee directly to a consumer in London without going through the middleman.
That would be a perfect scenario.
And you know what blockchain now does? Is that at every stage, it tracks that information. So that the buyer in London, they'll be able to go through the platform and see that indeed this coffee came from this specific farmer. Because now, one of the things that blockchain does is that immutability. Once the data has been entered, it becomes difficult to manipulate it.
Okay.
So that even the recent elections, if we had an election system that is based on blockchain, I'm telling you, this shenanigans, we would not have this.
The madness that we have in
yes,
electoral
this madness
systems,
would not be there.
Yeah.
And electoral system based on blockchain actually have been tested in 2016. And it worked well. So you'd ask yourself, why is it not being used?
Yeah, because they want to manipulate it.
Do you want the answer to that? It is obvious.
Yeah, it's quite obvious.
It's quite obvious. They want to maintain the status quo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, Paul.
Yeah.
Since you have that idea, have you ever approached the government and told them, yo, let's improve this?
Now, I don't know whether I should say this off record. I have actually even tried, even in the last election, I've tried through some contacts to tell these people that, look, it is obvious. After these elections, there are going to be cries of foul play.
Foul play, yeah.
Let's try and put this thing on blockchain. It is obvious. They were not interested.
Your meetings were postponed.
They're not interested. Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, they want it to remain.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible. But you've given me some brilliant ideas, especially about the farming. The farming part is what I hadn't connected the dots between how that could be done. I think it can be revolutionary for farmers, especially the ones who are suffering here in Kenya.
Yes.
To just sell their products on a very, very transparent system and get what they deserve from the money that they, what they've really worked for.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in this? Abia Africa has been running for how long?
Abia Africa, we started officially last year in May, but that idea has been there for almost a year now.
Yes.
Yeah. So